What is good, guys? Welcome back to Behind the Dugouts for your latest transfer news video. And man, what a roller coaster of a window. Ups, downs, players moving left and right, and drama like we're starring in some kind of TV show, man. It has been nuts. But we are into the final 24 hours of the window. It's going to ramp up from here. We're going to get news all the time. Good news, bad news, everything in between. So definitely stay locked in because we're going to cover it all. In this video, we are going to take a look at Jackson's situation, see how the deal's transpiring between Bayern and Chelsea. We've also had some more news that we potentially could be looking at some striking targets if that deal was to go through. We've also got an update on Barcelona's Fermin Lopez to Chelsea. So we're going to take a look at all of that. But before we get into it, guys, if you are enjoying the content, please smash that like button. If you're new around here, subscribe and join me and the community on this journey. And don't forget to click that bell notification to keep up to date with all the Blues news. Now that the pleasantries out the way, let's get into it. Nicholas Jackson, a story that has been going on for the majority of the window, really. You know, we didn't want to sell him, then we would be opening to sell him, and then the player himself wanted to, look at his options. And since then, he got left out of preseason, didn't participate in those games. There's been multiple clubs coming in for him, potentially wanting to buy, and then it was pretty much everyone only wanted to do the loan because of the price. Then we got a deal done with Bayern. The loan deal was agreed. We got the 12.9 million loan fee. It was all looking good until yesterday. Liam Delap picked up that injury, which is looking to be more than 6 to 8 weeks that we initially thought. So he could be out for a long period of time because of this hamstring injury. And Chelsea were on the blower straight away. Bayern, not allowed to do the medical. We're cancelling the loan. We want Jackson back. He didn't like that one bit, nor did his agent. He was spewing a load of rubbish online. Apparently, planes don't go backwards, according to him. But since then, we've had some more news, more information has come out. Jackson obviously stayed in Munich last night, ordered room service, was having a time of his life while Chelsea and Bayern were discussing this. So this is the latest on Nicholas Jackson and Bayern Munich. As things stand, Chelsea expect Jackson to rejoin head coach Enzo Maresca's first team squad. They are, however, studying contingency plans for the event of a suitable proposal arriving prior to Monday's transfer deadline day. We also had this, Chelsea considering signing striker before deadline, not allowing Nicholas Jackson loan but permanent possible. The lack of loan replacements means permanence being explored. Inquiries made for Conrad Harder of Sporting and others. Matt Law then gave further on this. Chelsea have considered Conrad Harder. Another option is to try and cancel Marc Guiu's loan at Sunderland. So yeah, we look like we are trying to find a resolution for this situation in multiple different avenues. When it first dropped and Nicholas Jackson was refusing and his agent was trying to force this loan move to go through, my initial thought was, okay, well, bring back Marc Guiu, bring him back from Sunderland, probably going to be the easiest and quickest option to resolve this situation. Since then, obviously, Chelsea have refused. No loan, must be a permanent. If Bayern want him, they need to pay it up. And apparently, there is no cancellation clause in Marc Guiu's loan deal. So normally they'd be able to pay a fine and bring him back. And then, job's done. He's back at Chelsea. However, because there is not one, it's going to have to be some kind of agreement between Sunderland and Chelsea, which probably could be a fee agreement. But they have to, decide together and agree that he can come back. So it could be a little bit more complicated than first thought. Conrad Harder from Sporting, I have to admit, I don't know enough about the player to form an opinion on him. I know he's a young Danish striker. He's coveted by a lot of clubs, one of them being RB Leipzig, who are actually trying to, bring him in this window. So there is some competition for his signature. I don't think he's going to be too expensive. They're talking around 25 to maybe 30 million pounds for the striker. But again, I don't know enough about him to form any opinion on him. For me, what would make the best sense would bring Jackson back. If they're not going to pay the money, bring him back. And even that, because with Jackson at least, he's played in the system, he's played under Maresca. There's going to be no time that he needs to adapt to the system. He's just going to slot straight back in as he was playing the last season at Maresca. And he knows everybody at Chelsea. So just bring him back. Cancel the loan, just bring him to the squad. Don't have to go out and buy another striker. We can look to do that next summer because we're still probably going to want to sell him next summer anyway. So for me personally, rather than going out and buying Conrad Harder, the Marc Guiu thing looks like it's going to be a difficult situation. Just bring him back. We'll use him for the season. As I said, Liam Delap's injury is looking like it's going to be a longer period than 6 to 8 weeks. So we probably might only see him after the sort of December break, but you just don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that one. I'd love to get your thoughts on this. Would you just bring Jackson back, keep him in the squad to the end of the season, or would you, try and force the sale and go out and get another striker, potentially Conrad Harder? If not, drop a name. What other striker out there would you like to bring in to replace Jackson for this season? Now, Fermin Lopez, a name that's been spouted around. We were, linked with him during the whole Xavi Simons saga, and there has been, lots of talks apparently between his camp, the player, and Maresca. Maresca does want the player, he desperately wants it, and Chelsea are in the position now where they will bid for the player if the player gives them an inclination that he wants to join Chelsea. So any little hint that, yeah, the project sounds good, I'd like to play for Chelsea, we will then bid. And that has apparently happened because we have bid. So this is the latest on Barcelona's Fermin Lopez to Chelsea. Chelsea have yet to receive a response from Barcelona after offering £35 million for Fermin Lopez. Barca are believed to want over 52 million for him. Now, if we was to get Fermin Lopez for £35 million, it's an absolute steal. What a bargain that would be. But it's not going to happen. Not in the slightest. Not surprised Barcelona haven't responded to the bid at all. This is just a bid to sort of test the waters. As I said, Chelsea were not going to bid unless they got any indication from the player that he may want to join. So the fact that we've bid must be on the positive side. He must have, slipped us a little cheeky note going, yeah, I want to join Chelsea. So we've now gone in and put the bid in. From Barcelona, they've been waiting for him to release a statement. Apparently, it was supposed to be Friday. It's Sunday now, mate. Where's the statement? So Barcelona are probably sitting on there having communications with the player. Like, you need to let us know. What do you want? What do you want to do? Because if he comes out and tells Barcelona, I want to move to Chelsea, they will negotiate with us and sell the player to us. I think that's been made clear from both sides that if the player wants it, Barcelona will sell. And that's what potentially could be happening. That's why we've made the bid. The price that we'll probably get him for, if it was to happen, is going to be close to the Xavi Simons money. It's definitely not going to be £35 million. Yeah, maybe between 52, 55. If you've got anything under that, it's a steal. He's a good player. He's a good player. Plays in the 10. He's Barcelona Academy product, which generally comes with a little bit of price tag as well. He's technically very, very good. He is creative, and that's what we're looking, more creative minds in the squad. He has had a few stipulations in what he wants, apparently. This is what he said. He wants to be a guaranteed starter. They're not going to guarantee him a starting position similar to what Jordi Petrovic. He was like, I want to be guaranteed number one. They've said, can't guarantee it. You've got to fight for your spot. And he's going to be competing with probably the hardest position to compete with on the pitch, which is Cole Palmer's role. So there's no way that we're going to be able to guarantee him starting, but there is potential for him to, get into the squad, be a rotation player, and he will provide something. And there will be occasions where you'll see both Cole Palmer and Fermin Lopez on the pitch. That I would be 100% sure of. The likelihood of this deal going through, I wasn't so positive about it, to be honest. Not in terms of I don't want the player. Of course, the player I think would be quality and would suit the team really, really well, provide us with an additional option. It was more the likelihood of Barca selling it to us because, again, the news has come out of nowhere. At the time, there was no interest of Barcelona selling. There was no interest of the player wanting to move. That may have clearly changed. So the fact that we've gone in for a bid now and we've, presented an offer to Barcelona and apparently an offer to Fermin Lopez that he is actually considering, that he actually likes, it's making me feel a bit more positive. And I'm not going to lie, it is so difficult not to get positive about these kind of things, as much as we got slapped up with the Simons thing and we've been wanting a centre-back and a goalkeeper, which I still think we do need, but I don't think we're going to go for in this window. I'll be very surprised. I've mentioned it a few times on my streams over on the Blue Lounge that Kanji from City at £15 million, I think would be an absolute bargain for a little stopgap. 30-year-old player could come in and do the business while we wait for, Levi Colwill to come back. He's got experience, technically good on the ball, and he's, played under Pep. They're used to playing out from the back. So it made perfect sense for me for that type of player, but it just doesn't look like a centre-back is going to be done in this window. we're mainly looking at that attacking line, and Fermin Lopez looks to be the option. And I am, I'm getting a little bit more positive with each passing moment that this could potentially happen. If it does happen, it's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be like a last down to the wire kind of deal, because there's still so much to be done behind the scenes. Again, the first bids have gone in. We've had no information on that yet, which means that will still need to be rejected first. I think Chelsea are expecting it to be rejected anyway. And then after that, it's preparing the second bid, and then that has to go through. So there's still a lot to be done. We still have to agree personal terms with the player, though we've made the potential offer to him. There still has to be an agreement. So I don't expect anything to happen today, but if this was going to happen, it's going to go right down to the wire, I think. But I am feeling a bit more positive about it now than I did yesterday. And I would be very happy for this player to come in. What are your thoughts on it? You know, are you happy with Fermin Lopez coming into the squad? I know a lot of the fan base are still upset with how the Xavi Simons deal ended, but Fermin Lopez is in and around, if not the same quality as Xavi Simons, that will produce what we would want Xavi Simons to have produced. He would produce the same sort of things. I'd be very happy with this, but I'd love to know your thoughts on this player. But for now, guys, that is all from me. As I said, this window is going to kick off. This last 24 hours is going to go nuts. So stay tuned, because there'll be videos coming out left, right, and center for, the latest news. But for now, guys, that is all from me. And if you are enjoying this content, please hit that like button, subscribe if you are new. Now, take care of yourselves, and I will catch you in the next one.